Podcast, episode 25. My name is Chris, and today I'm joined by my co-host Isaiah.
Hello.
And we're here today with Eric from Traverse the Abyss.
What's going on, everyone?
How do you do?
Not too bad. Cold. It's freezing
it's
out
miserable
today.
out.
It went from being so hot to just raining this whole week now.
Yeah, it was like 94, 95 the other day.
Yeah, the body is not adjusting to it quickly.
Yeah, it feels like 20 degrees outside right now.
It's like to the bone. Like I can't get warm.
Yeah, no, it's miserable.
Like me, I like the cold. My air conditioning been on like straight 60, so
I like
all time. So this is nothing. Like
I like the cold. I got a hoodie when it's like controlled, you know. When like I have something to do with it, you know.
Okay.
But outside, it's just miserable. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah, no, I like the warmth. I like warm weather. I'm not about the cold. Like a hoodie is cool. Like I'll get down with that, but for the most part, I want to be in like shirt and shorts and sweating.
Yeah. No, yeah, I get what you're saying. But I love sitting in my room with my AC. I sleep my AC on every night.
She'll always have the AC on, and I'll be like freezing. She's like, well, it's disgusting outside. What do you want? I'm like, oh, cool. Be walking around with the bed jacket on.
Sometimes the cold's better because you can always put more layers on, but you can only take off so much.
Yeah, that's like our guitar player, Mike. That's what he's on. He loves snowboarding and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I want nothing to do with that. Nope, right. I am good with hot and warm.
So I wanted to jump right into the most interesting topic that I think we have is the music video for Faucet Mouth. That's like one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. So just like walk us through it.
Actually, I was full on going to come in the jumpsuit, in the tracksuit
today. Yeah?
And it just slipped my mind, making sure I had everything else packed. But
you was midway on the drive, like, damn it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, should have did it. I should have did it. It would have made it more. I still have the fake grills at the house and everything too. But that was we had a bunch of other music videos, and they're always like shots of us like hanging out or in the studio and live cuts. And we're like, we want to do something funny, something ridiculous, because like growing up, there's how many different bands had just like stupid, funny, ridiculous music videos.
Yeah,
like the Bowling for Soup one, or
Blink-182 has a bunch.
Blink-182. Even with the Day to Remember, when they had I forget what song off the top of my head.
All I Want, that one.
Yeah, maybe All I Want.
That's where they had like a bunch of bands like.
I was thinking even the one where they're playing baseball. What was that? That's off of Homesick.
Don't
blink. They want you.
Oh yeah, that's fucking
I don't know the name of that song right now, but I know exactly what song you're talking about.
No, I don't think it's All Signs Point Lotto. But anyways, we wanted to do something ridiculous.
I'm made of wax, Larry. What are you made of?
Yeah,
that one.
Yes, that's exactly.
That was
gonna
kill me.
Yes, it's on the tip of the tongue, and you get that scramble.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do just something silly because like. We always get that serious approach, and like we like being, you have your serious topics, but a lot of time, like as ourselves, we're very goofy individuals, and it's like we wanted to display that again. It just gives it a little bit more entertaining to watch having it. So that came about when we were in the studio. We were tracking Faucet Mouth and our newest single, Only Human, and we were talking about doing a music video. And our guitar player Mike, he had this thing that he's like, I want us playing like kid instruments, like little Hello Kitty, like Walmart first act, like kid instruments, but like the breakdowns with like the tunnel vocals and stuff like that. And our drummer's like, I'm not doing that at all, dude. That's stupid. So then we spitballed, and like it just ended up coming to that. We're like, what if we do like a stupid rap video, almost like an Attila type video? And we're like starting to really get into that because I was like, we'll get like the grills and we'll get the jumpsuits came into play and all it just kind of spiraled down. It's like, well, why not just like really stretch out? Because like with Scranton, it's like you have city and then you drive like 10 minutes and it's like backwood country. So it's like we could display that because where we shot the scenes, like we did the car and pool scene at the same person's house, and then across the street in the field we did the country. It was like literally we crossed the street.
Oh shit!
And that was the whole. Then we pulled up and there was the bales of hay, and we're like, yeah, oh yeah, perfect. We don't even need to move anywhere. And then the video crew came over and they're like, oh, yeah. So it came in, and then for like the end part with like the metal scene, it's like we wanted to try to like go across the spectrum with like the different styles of metal. Like Dave, the drummer, is supposed to be like a thrash snob with the battle jacket on, and I have like the whole '80s glam thing going on, and our bassist does like the tough guy hardcore. Then Mike is like a crabcore almost with like we cut the shirt.
Oh yeah, I saw the.
Yeah, we cut the shirt really deep, and then we wrote the obvious like chest tattoo across his chest, but we spelled it all. How we spelled it was like CHE money sign T TATUE.
We used that S thing.
Yeah, the elementary school, the S.
Oh, like the graffiti S. Okay.
And then
tattoo as TAT.
And then Jamie used to play in a black metal band. He used to do like keyboards and stuff. So it was like, okay, we have to just incorporate that right in. So we just did him with like the badly done like goth gimmick for him.
Right.
So yeah, just kind of wanted to like have fun, poke some fun, and have fun with it. Especially
how did filming go?
Filming was fine. We all did it. It was 2 separate days, but the first day we pulled up, we did the Hummer scene first because our guitar player's brother, that's where we shot it, and he was like, yo, I'm taking that mudding and off-roading, and we're like, let us borrow that for like an hour. So we did those scenes quick, and then they left, and then we went into the back and did the pool shots, took a break, and then came back and did the shots across in the field. And then on a separate date, it was at one of the warehouses. We just cleared out and shot the metal scenes, but everything was pretty smooth. The joys of hearing your song over and over and over and over.
Like you do so many takes, you just hear one part a bunch.
We have so much footage for that. Like we're eventually gonna roll out more B-side stuff to it because there's just so much stuff. Like there's shots where I had my dog. He's a Siberian Husky, so we went like the riff-raff approach. So it was like me and the girls were all petting the dog.
Oh, okay.
The problem was he gets too hyper. So with everyone around and just too much excitement. So he wasn't they didn't get too much good footage of it. Then we had like, you don't really get to see him too much, but we had like blow-up dolls all throughout the pool and stuff like that. The best had to be the belly flop with our bass player.
Oh yeah.
The first one he did was really good. And they're like, oh, we need another one. He walks over and he's hunched over. He's like, yo, I just clapped my fucking nuts on that. So that's why they see the one in the video, the tummy tucks right before the water hit. like right before he pulled me aside, he's like, yo, I just slapped my nuts on the water, dude. That
hurt. I don't know how to do another one.
And they're like, yeah, can we get another belly flop possibly? But the pool scenes were fun because he actually had his camera and they're in the water, so I was like, all right, like you had to be like really careful on how you moved so you didn't stir up any waves or anything, because like I don't want to pay extra to replace Homeboy's camera.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's gonna be ridiculously expensive.
He was super nervous about it. He's like, nah, this is how we got to get the shot, and it's like, yeah, I agree.
Nobody move too much. If I lose this damn camera.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much this music video cost, because with props and costume and filming.
Definitely not as much as you think.
Really?
The best part is we went to like Spencer's and Spirit Halloween, and that's where we rated like the accessories. Like I got all the chains. I saw the crown and I'm like, that is stupid. I'm totally buying that. And then we shot the video, and then the next day I came back and I was like, I needed these for a party, and they didn't work out. And they were like, oh, okay, here's your money back.
Oh, so they just returned everything after.
Yeah. Except we still own the tracksuits, which like we busted out a couple times, but everyone's like, where'd you get those Adidas ones? We're like, they're like $30 knockoff ones we got on Amazon. It comes in like some Asian script, whatever size it is, it's not that size. You feel a little like itchy afterwards, but yeah, our bass player, I feel bad because he's a bigger dude. I think he ordered like the 2X or whatever, and he puts it on and he's like, bro. He's like, I feel like a fucking sausage right now. And I'm like, it makes the video. Put the bucket hat on and put that giant money chain on. It looks great.
That's amazing, though.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and now it's like we're wondering if people are going to be expecting us to just be doing constantly like silly videos like that, or if we're going to do something serious. So that's in a couple weeks to tell. We have a video coming out for Only Human, the single that we just released yesterday, and if anyone goes and divulges and looks into the lyrics, they could kind of see where we're going with that one, and they'll understand if we're going to do a silly or serious video for that song.
Okay.
About to study the lyrics.
Okay. Serious.
That one's going to be serious. It's about...
Don't tell anyone, but it's serious.
It's a serious video.
What did you say? You said it's going to be serious?
No. I said don't tell anyone that it's going to be serious.
It's not like Harry Potter's uncle. Serious.
Ah, boo. Get off.
But, yeah, we'll be doing a bit more of a serious music video coming out for that one. And then towards the fall, we'll have another funny video. Because it was just too much fun to make to not want to do again. And plus, the reaction was positive. The only thing is, like, how do you top it?
Oh, yeah. You just have to
Gotta get more ridiculous. It has to be insane.
And that's what it is. It's like, okay, now what do we do next? Because, like, we're throwing the beers at the chainsaw. He's fucking hitting it like a baseball. Like, a little while later, we're like, that's probably like a bad idea. But, yeah, just how much more ridiculous could we get? But
Do you think you could confidently say you could top it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy. See, he didn't even have to think
Easy.
about
No.
it.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. I got
That's
it.
just like at least that's just like testing the toes in the water. So I think we could get see how much more ridiculous we could get. I think another thing comes into is like timing and planning. So like that was kind of on the whim where like we should definitely do that, and then a couple weeks to plan to set everything up, and compared to like say now if we had a track and we're like okay we're gonna do something stupid crazy for that and we're gonna release it in October, then we know we have from now till then to plan and work on it.
Yeah.
Compared to, also depends on what your band schedule is and how you're trying to do releases, because right now everything's digital, everything's fast, everyone got that microwave mentality. No one wants to wait for stuff. You drop a single and they're like, dude, that's fucking fire, bro. When's the next one coming out?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, we just put that one out in a video, and you know what I mean? So you got to have like, I think the way to go is taking up the releases and kind of just chopping them up, releases the singles. And even if the only thing to that is how many do you want to release versus keep hidden? Because if it's a 5-song EP, you release one, you release 2 or 3. Is 3 too much or is 2 too little? So there's always that crutch of that, unless you do 6 songs, and then you start going, well, you know, if we're already doing 6 songs, because usually you have a mass material, which turns into an album, which is still cool, but like, I think just a chopped up single release, because if you're doing Spotify, you're only allowed to send out to petition out 1 song per release. So if you do a 5-song EP, it's like, well, pick your best one and send that out, and we'll see if it's worthy of our playlists. Versus if you are doing single songs, you get that shot every single time. Then you could drop your CD, sell physicals to actually bring money back, because streams, we don't make any money, and like especially with Corona shutting everything down, like your income as a band was just cut, because you make it from shows, you make it from merch, and you make it a small amount from streams. So if you're not playing shows, you're not selling as merch, because you're going to have to funnel into ads to push your stuff out to get people to find out about your merchandise. Because, like, social media, they kill you. You need it, but they make sure you need it. Like, okay, you want to reach your audience, you got to pay into it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you guys noticed that, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, 2,000 people liked the page. 20 people have seen your post. Why?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And then I like trying to study more into it, and then it's like the call to action. If you're putting a link that's sending them to a different service, they're going to automatically shrink down that reach. So it's like finding ways to internally work through the Facebook system or Instagram, whatever platform you're using. It gives me a headache.
Yeah, social media, I'm just I use it. I'm just terrible at like knowing how to understand it and stuff.
I hate it. It makes you feel so split, and everything's so across the board. Like, there's only certain people that use Twitter, but there's only certain people that use Facebook or Instagram. So like, if you're not constantly on one platform, you're potentially missing marketing to those people. And then you get your Facebook people who it's like, oh yeah, I support you, but when you like share your band stuff, then it's like, yo, all you do is post your band, and it's like, well, Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, there's no winning.
There's what I do it myself. And it's like, well, you don't got to post everything. And it's like, okay, well then
promote myself.
The other homeboy is telling me that he's not, well, I didn't see that you guys put a new t-shirt out and I didn't get to buy any XLs because they all went first.
Yeah.
So there's, it's bittersweet.
To talk what you were talking about like the stream shit, how you like make like little to no money off streams. It's like you have to use your music to almost promote like your merch so you can actually make money. Like,
100%. Oh, that is
when like it was the other way around. Like back even like 10 years ago, you see a shirt, you're like, oh, I like that shirt. What is that? Oh, it's a band. Oh, I'll check them out. Now it's like, hey, listen to this song, and then if you like that song, maybe check out my merch.
Well, I think even more then was more with the physical sales too.
Mm-hmm.
Downloads were there, but it wasn't people ripping on LimeWire and everything. But you still were able to. Oh my God, yeah, I'm thinking more like 15 years ago, because 10 years ago was like 2011, which is still like, I think like there's that nice like timeline breakup, which it's like there's the metal community. And then so many of them are so, like, diverse within their own subgenres. And it's like, I don't know, I'm one of them, like, we listen to almost a little bit of everything. Like, even outside of metal. Like, on our Spotify thing, we have a little playlist that we update monthly. It's like, here's, like, 10 to 15 songs that we've been jamming. And it's, like, anything. Rap to reggae to metal, like, just a couple of our buddies' bands. Just a little thing, and it also gets a little personal for us. They get to know, like, oh, I didn't know the bass player actually listens to a little bit more rap than he does metal. But when he does listen to metal, it's as hard as it could be, kind of stuff. So little things like that, but
yeah, metal's like the only genre out there that I think mostly listen to other genres. Like, I don't think like rappers listen to like metal and pop and then country and shit. Like,
so like people in metal listen to other genres the most?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Or they're really narrow and specific, and they only listen to thrash metal.
Yeah, there's no
and I
between.
don't want none of that breakdown garbage, and I think that's the stuff that divides it too. It's like so many people like there's that bond between where it's like the old metalheads and then like the newer kids where it's like that's dad rock versus that's like the young produced crap. You know what I mean?
Right.
You guys probably exactly know 100% what I'm talking about, and it's like where's that line drawn? Because it's like it seems like even in the new metal, like going into there, it's like you have that people that cut that right out, that's crap and don't want any of that garbage, or like it's heavy but it's not heavy enough, or
or it's too heavy. Where's the substance?
Yep. Versus like then even in metalcore itself, there's a distinct difference between like older As They Lay Dying to like Asking Alexandria.
Yeah,
but
they're both metalcore.
Still metalcore. You know what I mean? So that's like now even more so, because like even the newest Architect song, Animals, like it's on FM radio stations, but that would still to me go over as a metalcore song because it has that big
yeah, and it's
thickness,
weird.
but they have the soft singing parts to it.
Yeah, but there's also a weird line between like these three genres that I think of like coexist together right now. It's metalcore, deathcore, and nu metal. Because like a lot of metalcore right now is like nu metal. Like Architects, I think you put them maybe 20 years ago, they could have passed maybe for metalcore, nu metal.
Yeah,
maybe Wage War, definitely. They have some nu metal riffs in there.
It definitely seems like that wave is coming back, like just that big, fat, low bottom music, but with a little bit more melody to it. Because like, it seems like if in the Scream game, they want you balls heavy or they want it melodic, which is like weird where I fall in is because I'm not really melodic. Like I'll yell on pitch and points to notes and stuff like that. And I'm not constantly just gutter vocal and stuff like that. So it's like weird like that. I kind of try to float in between them. And with our newer stuff, I'll even go a little bit more extreme into the melodic stuff and even more into the guttural stuff for certain songs. But yeah, like I think it was a live stream that Artery Records was doing, and it was in 2017 or so, and they're talking about deathcore, and they were just like, yeah, like in deathcore right now, you gotta bring it. Like if you're labeling yourself as like a deathcore band, like your whole song has to be
Yeah, just absolutely balls to the walls.
Yeah,
hard
nothing.
Yeah, 'cause
or
that's what
even if
people are
you
looking
slow
for.
down, you get those ambient parts or whatever before you pummel back in. Like you have to hit it. You know what
like
I mean?
big example of bringing it all the time now, I would say, is like
Black Lotus.
Black Lotus. Yeah,
Even with their newer stuff, it's like each single they're putting out for that new release. It's like, bro, that's some some stuff right there.
We
And
saw
then the
him on a
next
few
one,
weeks ago. Yeah.
like even with the Kyle feature from Body Snatcher on an Icon, it's like, like make sure I'm not like drinking anything at the time and just be like running down my face.
Yeah,
melting.
Like other bands, I think like just bring it all the time are Brand of Sacrifice, Chelsea Grin, who else? Star to Prevail. Oh my god,
they're
holy
one,
shit.
and I feel like that's the metal community gets them such a bad rep. Because you guys are probably in the Facebook groups as well, where it's just everyone Demolisher. That's like you have 9 people a day posting it, and it's to the point where it's like, okay, I'm done seeing it, and it's like it's almost bittersweet when some bands get that come up like that, because then it's like they get that face popularity, but then people that were like listening to it before also all turn a hair sour towards it because it got that like.
Why this? Why you like?
Or it's over. They just feel like over shoved down their throat, kind of deal.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, I saw literally like yesterday. I saw a meme about that. It was like your friend says, "I'm gonna play you the heaviest song I've ever heard," and it was like they put on Demolisher, and I was like, yeah, just people think that's like the best song ever.
Well, not even right now. You have. Do you love or hate Baba Yaga, their latest single? Because they added that little like melodic yell, little hairs.
I was just talking about that the other day with Joey over here.
Yeah,
I think it's their best, one of the best songs I've ever written, like structure-wise, because they included the really deep vocals, high screams, like singing, and like that's what they need. They need the diversity to still be relevant after Demolisher.
Yeah, because Demolisher was just stupid.
Yeah, it was an ignorant like fucking just hard as fuck. And those ignorant songs, like they'll hit, but that can't be your whole gimmick as a band.
Yeah.
You have to grow, which is like what Bring Me the Horizon did. I talk about it all the time. They needed to grow.
I hated that at first, but like as I got older, I get it. You need to change. You can't just stay.
Even from Sandpit Turtle.
Oh yeah,
I love saying
Turtle.
that. The Sandpit Turtle. As soon as that album came out, everyone.
Sandpit Turtle. I was like, what the fuck is that? Oh, Sempiternal.
Yeah.
As soon as that dropped, everyone did the fold arms. They were like, what are they doing? And it's like they're advancing in their sound. Like, I don't know. There's some bands that kill it that don't. Look at Carnifex. They've been doing same death metal, deathcore for how long?
True.
Straight up.
Yeah, and they're still.
It still comes out, and it's like, oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. And you expect that. Same with Cannibal Corpse. They're going to put something out, you're going to expect.
Yeah. Like a band that I love that I think uses the same, like, I guess, formula the whole time is August Burns Red.
Yep.
I fucking love August Burns Red. Top 5 all time for me. And they're just so good because they found out what they needed to do, and they kind of just, they'll sculpt it sometimes. Like the new album, I think, is like one of the most progressive things they've done, and it just works, They found the one thing, and they'll like, oh, I'll put this in it, and then I'll put that, or I'll take that away.
And they were like up for Grammy or whatever or something,
yeah,
right? It was one of the
they're
big
up for a
things.
Grammy.
It's like, but they knew that if it works, why? If it's not broken, why fix it?
Yeah, exactly. If no one's like bitching about it, I enjoy making it.
In our sense, it's like, say we did something a little different and it really started working for us. That might be something where it's like, as a business and musician-wise, this is something that appeases both. Because there's the business side. In that case, then we have to switch everything strictly to 4/4 and, try to do that radio sound. Mm-hmm. But then if it's not appeasing you as a musician, then it's not going to be organic and it's probably going to sound like crap, which you'll hear with bands trying to do that doesn't...
Yeah, just trying to force.
It doesn't correlate. It doesn't.
Yeah, I feel like you can really tell when a band's just.
See, I liked a couple of their radio stuff, like Alone in the Room. Like I'll back to that.
The last album, not the one they just put out, the one before that. That's really, really good, but then they just took it way too far with this new one. It's just like
there's a couple
trying to become
songs.
Creed or something.
I like Down to Hell. I think was the song I liked. It had
a whole album,
little twang to it, but what's it called? Yeah, I threw off topic. Ooh. All right, so let's start a new one. What do you guys? Let's talk about music, band. Any band questions you got for me?
Let's go with Let's go with the show story. What's something that happened?
Show stories?
Yeah, at a show.
Oh man. Fucking rolls their eyes. It's like, where do we start? Like, most craziest story, like best show we've played, worst shows we've played.
Ooh, let's go with worst show you played. That's more fun than hearing the best one.
That would be no. Okay, for some of them they'll say it was My Place Pizza in Poughkeepsie.
Pizza?
Yep, it was a pizza parlor, and back by the kitchen/bathroom, they let the band set up. So when people were going to the bathroom or bringing food out or back to the kitchen, they had to cross through the band.
It's like playing at the New Penny as well, though.
Yeah, New Penny back home. New Penny back home is fun. It's like
But
disgusting dive bar, but like
right on the floor.
yeah, people are just cutting through you.
It's like they're playing and like awkward.
But yeah, we got there way too early because we were like, oh, let's see what there is to do around Poughkeepsie, and it was like stupid cold, and we're like, oh, we don't want to go anywhere. And it was like noon. And the show started at 8. We're like, well, fuck, what do we do? So we hung out, and like we went around a little bit. We went and smoked and stuff like that. But it was like, then we got there, and the first band was on, and a crowd walked in. And it was a decent sized crowd because it wasn't a big place. And I was like, oh, like this is awesome. Like this is one of my first shows that I booked myself out of state with like all the bands and stuff like that. And then the first band, when they got off stage and the crowd went and walked down the street to the Chance Theater because Traders was playing.
Oh.
And I was like,
shit.
And then I learned to do my homework more.
Yeah.
But I was like,
so maybe day before or after.
Which I didn't even realize. But that's also the joys of I hate playing big cities for the most part, unless it's like a bigger show like that because there's just so much to do. It's hard to get a draw as opposed to like Scranton. There's nothing to do. So when people are playing at the bars, like. People sometimes will be like fighting to get in if it's capped.
The show was fine, but it was just so cold.
Yeah, the show wasn't a bad time, but it was just in general it was not a good time. Then Trish Stock, the other half of the band, would say that was an event we played in 2019, and we got there and we're talking to one of our buddy bands, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're just getting off stage," and we're like, "Well, blah blah blah." They're like, "What time's your set?" And we're like, "Oh, we're one of the last bands," and we're like, "Oh," and then they're 3 hours behind. And I'm like, they're what? They're like, yeah, they're 3 hours behind. And I'm like, how's that even fucking possible? Like, how do you manage to let that happen? And I guess something happened with the sound gear was busted, and they had to run and grab cables, and then it was just a bad show on their part.
3-hour delay.
But we got there and they paid us to come because it was in New York, like 3.5 hours north, and we're like, it got to the point where it's like, yo, I don't even think we should play because we're like, what time's like sound cut off? And they're like, usually at 1 o'clock. And I'm like, well, you have a whole lineup. And if we're going last, like, and one of our buddy bands from Scranton was playing before us because like we'll play frequently up in that area, like the Finger Lakes area and stuff up in northern New York. And yeah, they love us up there. It's all like metalhead, acid eating hippies, but the harder and more death metal the music, they love it.
Yeah.
And we were starting to crack beers, and it was just like, to the point where like, all right, let's just go get diner food and go home because there's no way we're gonna make it on time. We're not gonna get to play. And sure enough, like the power shut off, and this one band was playing, and we're like, okay, they're gonna pack up or whatever, and they're just like chilling on stage, and the power comes back on, and then they just start playing again, and we're just like, dude, oh my. Let's go home. And
like,
sure, like then our buddy band, we're made an agreement. We're like, all right, they paid us. We'll go up. We'll both bang out 3 songs each. Just use our equipment. You guys go first. We'll switch guitars. We'll play. We'll go home. We'll get diner. We'll laugh about the whole situation. They get 3 songs in. The lady's like, you're good. So they just keep playing. And we're like, well, the singer is like, play the next song. And I'm like, we're on the side of the stage like, yo, cut that, dude. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, sure enough, then when we got on stage, our drummer had way too many drinks. So he's like, playing, thinking he's killing it, and his like cymbals are like falling over. Our guitar player just walks over and just shuts his amp off. I think we mutually agreed that the band broke up that night on stage. Like, it was just such a bad time. Like even now we like laugh about it, but that
was a rough show. You'd say
stupid.
So that was just like the whole night was just a shit show.
Yeah, it was just one of those times where you're on stage and it's just like, why am I not home?
Yeah, why am I
playing
here right now?
Yeah, like why am I doing this? Because all the people there, they're all fucking tripping out and drunk and everything. So it's like they were watching us, and then they would go and do their own thing, and it was just like...
And then they remember, they go, oh,
It was
there's
just
a
one of
band
those
playing.
craft shows. And then on the opposite, one of the best shows we played, we got to play with Motionless in Scranton back at the end of 2018.
That's awesome.
They were doing a hometown Christmas show, and they haven't played a hometown club show in like 9 or 10 years. And we got to play right before them.
Oh,
So
you were like main support?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
sick.
like like our buddies played first, and then we played, and then Motionless played after us. And when my friends were playing, like a good amount of people were in there, and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And then I'm like, they were doing the venue that had the show doesn't do shows, so how they're operating everything was fucked, and people were like waiting out in the freezing cold, like
Illegal.
it was definitely illegal.
It was
The line was
full
one
capacity.
wrapped. It's like halfway in the alley was the entrance that they had, because you could just go right up the stairs to the top floor of a 4-floor place that had like 1,000-person capacity, and they had like 1,300 in there with like 2 exits.
Right.
So yeah, it was bad.
It was on the 3rd floor too, wasn't it?
3rd or 4th, it was up,
So
but
it was like
the line was, while even still, well, we were playing, and Motionless was the next band. Like the line was out down the alley, down the block, and then around halfway up the other block for people still trying to get in. Like we had people that bought tickets off us, like, yeah, we heard your set from outside. You sounded fucking great. I could imagine what it was like being in there. And it's like,
Yeah. I've been to shows in PA, and they're always fucking cold, because why would I go to a show in PA in the summer? I saw Avenged Sevenfold in, where was that fucking? Reading. That was a miserable drive. It was like snowing. It was like 20 degrees outside. We were outside for like an hour because the line was all the way down the street in Reading. Miserable. And then I saw Shinedown and Papa Roach that next March in, where the fuck was that? Hershey. And again, freezing, long-ass line, takes forever to get in. For some reason, PA needs to get their shit together.
Yeah, I know what that's like, because like when we have to stand outside Starland and all, it doesn't even get that cold. Like,
Remember we saw Beartooth and Mice and Men?
Wait, wasn't it
And
cold?
it was
then? Yeah, I wanted
freezing.
to
Last
die.
week, and now it's like
Didn't
Christmas
Mice and Men just
outside.
put out an EP yesterday?
Mice and Men did drop an EP.
They did.
They did.
Did you listen to it?
I did not listen to it fully.
I put it to like my listen later.
A Mice and Men is fucking amazing. No matter. Do you like a Mice and Men?
yeah, I get down with the Mice.
I
Man.
love a Mice and Men. They're one of my favorite.
Even what
bands.
you were saying with like Papa Roach and stuff, Shy Down, it's like, all right, cool. Like, you guys get down with rock, the dad. Like
Yeah.
we always get teased. Like even Nickelback. I don't give a
Oh,
fuck.
Will
we
Chris
bump-
is a Nickelback stan.
We'll bump Nickelback, and it's like,
That's my favorite.
yeah, you can't lie if you fucking put one of their songs on at a bar. Everyone's at least mumbling the lyrics,
Yeah.
even if they're making fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fact that
It's
they
just catchy.
won.
That and
It's
Creed.
in your head, and they're getting paid off
love
of it.
Creed, too.
And then he's gonna sit there with this ramen noodle hair fucking sticking in his mouth and
Yeah.
suck on it and do a
Never
little
made it
twiddle
as a
dance.
wise man. Yeah.
Everybody
How You Remind Me is one of the
I
best
think
songs.
and seeing the herd come back in, or the people defending, like, you know, like they're actually not that bad of
Yeah,
a band.
because it's
like,
not
you're-
cool anymore to dislike Nickelback because they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like
they,
I feel like
I don't
everybody
like them as a band because they have a good song. It's like, so you like a band because they have bad songs?
Yeah.
Everybody
At the
hated
end
them
of the
because it
day,
sounds
they make more
country a
money
little
than
bit.
you'll ever make.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why I feel like everybody hates it. Just
we're-
'cause it sounds like
being
a
from
little
Scranton,
country.
like Breaking Benjamin came up from Scranton, like Scranton Wilkes-Barre area. Same with Motionless, and we're friends with Freddie, who was one of the people that helped get Breaking Ben on the radio. Like he was getting a lot of heat because he was putting them on, and he wasn't supposed to. But he's like, no, this band's gonna do something, and that was right with like Saturate and those early albums. I think the first 2 albums he was helped involved with, and he was saying they did one of the earliest tours they supported Nickelback, and he said that Chad Kroeger was like a really genuine, like, nice guy. Like, he gave all the roadies and stuff, like, extra money at the end of the thing just for helping out and doing a good job. And it was one of the off days. One of the new movies came out. So we rented out the seating in the one theater. So, like, all the bands on the tour and their crew could see the movie and not, like, have to deal with fans and stuff. Like, they could just
Right.
sit, chill, and... So it's, like, little things like that. It's like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Call them cats.
Oh, Freddie definitely called them cats, man.
I love him.
I love Freddie, man, but he definitely has that old school talk about him, man. We're chilling in Rahway, New Jersey with these cats, man.
Yeah, tell him the Goodfellas.
Yeah.
The Henry Hill
yeah,
helicopter.
yeah, pretty much Goodfellas. Henry Hill at the end when he's like sweating on all the coke because that's like how he is now. But he means well. I love him.
He's 50 years old.
Do you have like a story where something fucky happened with like a fan?
Oh, or the audience was just
Audience was like shitty.
Dude, I don't know how much time I could eat. Joking. But a couple good ones. All right, so we played a weekender in Delaware. We're going from outside Philly, Delaware. It was a Bar 13. And then we were playing in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was like Proud Mary's or something was the venue. It was a small bar. They should not have heavy music there. It doesn't accommodate. Yeah. But we learned that afterwards. So we get to Delaware, and we're the last band on the bill, which was like, well, whatever. It is what it is. And we get there, and Pennsylvania, the cutoff for alcohol and bar closing is 2 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And Delaware is 1. And we didn't know that. And like the one band was like taking forever. And we're looking at the clock and they're like, it's going to be a tight squeeze towards the end. And we're like, yeah, it's like, because it's outside Philly. So we're like, yeah, we have to like 2, right? And they're like, no, everything closes at 1 here. And our buddy band, they like frequent the place. And they only played like 1 or couple songs just so we could get onto stage. So like, that was a shit show. But then the next day, we got to chill. We went down and we hung out at the beach for a little before the show. We got there. We played the show. Everyone was like, what in the fuck is going on? Because it was like an acoustic act, and then we go on. And it's like, sometimes I love situations like that because they aren't there. No, they're not ready. And so afterwards, there was a group of younger kids that were supposed to be playing. The promoter was like, oh, they play heavier music too. They'll help bring crowd in. And it's like, well, that don't fucking matter now. We already played. And they're waiting for one or a couple more members to get there. And they're outside skateboarding. And the skateboard fucking went off the curb and went to the street. And the kid's like, yo, I'll grab it. And he runs over and he jumps on the board and he's coasting. And at that exact time, the red light turned green. And the car didn't slow down. And fucking smacked him. Probably maybe from me to like the door we walked in away. God like damn. Right there. Shit. And it was just like,
well, there goes their set.
Yeah, it was just like, what the holy fuck. Like he went to the hospital to get checked out. He was all right. Like it's just more like shock, and they want to make sure he was all right. But it was just like, holy fuck. Our guitar player runs outside. He's like,
1, 2, 3, 4, I got all of you.
He's like, yeah, I got all my guys. He's like, I swear to God, I thought I heard one of you guys got hit by a car. We're like, no, but that was insane. And while we were doing that, we were talking to a guy called Still Dave, who was a very old hippie with a long white hair and white beard.
His name Still Dave? Yes. That's first and last name?
I don't know.
Dave, but he's always Dave, so he's still Dave.
I'm thinking that he had to go on a hard LSD trip, and like it was a bad trip, and someone was holding his shoulders and like, you're still Dave.
Yeah, you're still Dave.
Because it was like some kind of man purse bag, and he opened it.
It's a satchel.
Not even like a satchel though. It was almost like a grocery bag looking bag, but it was a bit bigger.
Oh, okay, so it's not a satchel.
So not essentially a satchel.
Handbag.
Indiana Jones wore one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it was just filled with weed. Like weed in jars. He had one of those like giant Sam's Club peanut butter jars, brimmed with like nice dank can of butter and edibles and stuff, and it was just like, in our bass player's business card, he's like, this is what I do. And it's like, oh, okay.
That's what he does.
He walks away, he's
Still
like spilling cookies and stuff off him, like,
this guy's
fucking leaving a trail behind.
You guys can have him, fuck it.
Literally, he didn't come back, and we're sitting there, there's like a bunch of edibles chilling by us, and we're like,
Adam West, ooh, a piece of candy.
Yeah, literally, ooh, a piece of candy. So we just grabbed a couple, we're like, fuck it. I mean, if he's not coming back, he must not mind.
Yeah, exactly, he don't care.
Or he's not going to know. Yeah, he's still Dave.
Yeah, still Dave. He has to remember that he's still Dave.
I gotta meet Still Dave.
Our old guitar player promised the other one that he'll drive on the way home, because the other one drove the majority of the weekend. He was worn out. Him and his ex were arguing at the time, and he just needed a break. And as soon as the edible fell down, he like cracked that and ate that. And the other guitar player is like, well, you promised you were going to drive. So he's like, I don't feel comfortable with you, because you don't know how strong that is.
Yeah. You don't know what Dave put in that.
Yeah. So he was not happy driving, and we're coming up. It was like Jersey going into PA, Philly, like that nice little section there.
Yeah.
And there's this car, and we travel in a literal short bus, like a short school bus.
I drive those every day at work.
We gutted them
control.
out, and we
That's
we
so
put
cool, though.
we put seats inside and everything like that.
Do you still have the bus?
Yeah, it's
Really?
if
awesome.
you see our music video on YouTube, Blink. It's one you'll see it. People are signing it in the beginning. That's our travel.
Is it in your album cover? Are we all sitting in it?
We're out of those CDs at the
I
moment.
was saying, isn't it?
Yeah, in the EP,
What's that worth?
there's that.
Picture?
and then
Did you ever post that picture?
we scraped the S off of it, so it says cool bus.
But
But we were coming up, and this car was not letting Mike pass, and he's like, "Bro, I'm in a bus. Like his lane's ending." He's like, "You're gonna smash right into me," and he's like, the guy's flipping him off and stuff, and he's like, still trying to cut him off, and then the intersection's closing and stuff, and he's like, "Dude," he's like, "I'm gonna hit you with the fucking bus.
Yeah,
if you do
like,
not move."
I'm
And
the
like I
bigger
said, he
dog.
was already like fuming. He was not in a good mood, and I love him, but when you get him to the over the edge, look out. And he was definitely over the edge, and the guy just fucking kept going, and he's like teeing him, and Mike's like, "You know what, motherfucker?" All he feels the bus stop. Go back. You see him whip over, go forward, and boom! He fucking reared up and fucking hit the guy's car.
Really?
So the guy's like, motherfucker! So he's like he's pulls to the side. So we pull the bus to the side. And Mike's sitting there. He's like, "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna bash his. I'm gonna snap." I quote, "I'm gonna throw this motherfucker through his windshield." And he's getting out of the bus and going. Our bass player. He's a bit bigger of a guy, so he gets up. He's like, and he
he's
tells
like,
the rest
"Stop."
of us, he's like, "No, you guys stay on. You guys just chill here. Let me go calm him down." So he goes down. The wife's saying something. The wife's in the passenger side saying something. He's like, "I'm gonna throw your husband through the fucking windshield," and he's acting like high and mighty, like, "Well, you fucking hit my car," and blah blah blah. So and then eventually he starts to cool down. Mike's like, "You know what?" He's like, "I'm having a bad fucking time. Like, here's money. Go get, if there's any damage, just go pay for it. If not, just take the fucking money and be on your way," or whatever. And the guy's like, "Yeah, well, I don't know. We might have to see what's wrong with the car." And then some lady pulls up and she is like out of a fucking movie. "I'm from the school board. I've seen the whole thing. He just hit that school bus. There might have been slow children in that bus."
What?
And she goes over and she hands Mike her card. She goes, "You need anything about this? I witnessed the whole thing." Then the guy, "Whoa, okay, well, no." He switched his whole tune, and we drove off and get in.
yeah, your guardian angel right there.
Holy shit.
And you know what? If we were probably all outside in all jet black tattoos, long hair and stuff, it might have looked a little more suspicious. But yeah, she thought we were all slow children on the bus, and the guy was cutting off the bus and he hit it.
Oh my god,
fitting.
that's amazing.
Dude, he hit that bus and we're all sitting there, hands in the fucking face. We're like, "We're not getting home. We're not getting home tonight." There's no way we're getting home tonight. This is not happening. But oh yeah, that was like probably one of the most ridiculous stories.
That's probably one of the best stories I've ever heard. That's amazing.
Then one of my other favorites, we have a new song called Frankenshuffle. And the name for that came about, we played an outdoor festival at the end of 2019.
Dark and heavy.
Yeah, the Dark and Heavy Festival.
It
And
wasn't dark and heavy at all.
yeah, that was
It was dark, but
that was something. But this girl really wanted to come on the bus. And when you get on the bus, we have this, as soon as you turn left, you have to duck down. It's like a low-hanging shelf. And she was nice and loaded. Yeah, you know. Now, we've seen grown men hit their head off this, like, pretty decently.
sure would have hurt more if she wasn't.
She was drinking nice. She was sitting down. And it was about that time we're heading out. She's like, "All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here." And she leans back, and my girl goes, "Hey, watch your head."
Boom.
And as soon as she shot up, ran forward like a bull, and like smashed her dome off that. The wood shook. I think a piece moved out of place. She fell backwards back into the seat like a cartoon, holding her head. And I'm like, I gotta ask if she's all right. Like, oh my God, she might have concussed herself.
You did
So
not
I get
ask
off.
if
I
she's
get
all
off the
right.
stairwell and I get off the bus and I turn around and she's walking down with the one hand on her head and the other hand out, going. Like Frankenstein, and I went, and she walked past me, and
You did not.
I got in
actually
trouble at
sorry.
work for about 2 weeks because I just couldn't stop laughing. I would just start cracking up, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm telling the story, and they get a kick out of it too.
Frankenshuffle?
She rocks the Frankenshuffle.
Hell yeah.
That's
All in
amazing.
Disney's on.
That's great.
I told her, I was like, get in touch with us, and we'll give you some hookup on merch and everything, because that story was, I've seen full-grown men hit that pretty hard, but nothing. She was like a cartoon or a movie. She like ran at it.
Yeah.
And like hit
She
it.
just got up and her first instinct was full sprint.
Yeah.
Was that the one under the bus or getting off of the bus? There's 2 ways to hit your head in that bus. It's really
Yeah.
good.
There's a lot of way to hit your head.
I'm
this
pretty
sounded
sure it's
like.
her getting
Yeah.
off.
It was not
of
good
it.
for drunk people to be in the bus.
No, we always have drunk people, because when people, wherever we play, we'd have people that are hanging out and talking to us. We'll have them come and sign, and they'll date the location, so it's cool. Like, Oswego, New York, or
My poor
Whitehaven,
friend
PA,
got
you know, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, music-wise, we have a couple new singles coming out. Like, we did Faucet Mouth. We just released Only Human. We have a video that's going to be coming out for Only Human.
It's a
We-
serious one.
It's a serious one, yes.
Yeah, that'll be
Serious
the serious one. And then we have another single coming out. That's going to be probably the heaviest out of the collection. Or
Really?
the most aggressive of our songs. I would say Only Human and another one kind of rival for maybe the more melodic, but they still got that punch to it.
I love that single person. I messaged you yesterday. I was like, yo, I love this song because I fucking love it.
Well, that
That's
was
really good.
and we highly appreciate it, and thank you. We were tossed up on doing that one or dropping that song first or Faucet Mouth, and we just ended up getting the video done for Faucet Mouth first, and it's like, I think Only Human structure-wise might be a bit better of a song, and it'll do more with the audio, but Faucet Mouth just worked perfect for the music video to the song correlation.
Yeah,
But we
it had
have-
a lot of views. 22,000 views on YouTube as
Yeah.
of today.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well, which we're excited about. A lot of people are like engaging with it, that they enjoyed it and everything like that, which is good. I'm trying. Yeah, here I'm stuttering on my words, which is great because like views are awesome, but the engagement's what's real.
Yeah, it's
you know
what
what I
really
mean? You
matters.
get those people that actually comment like, "Yo, that video is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life." It's like, awesome. I'm glad you hated it. You at least put engagement in. Like,
Yeah, no, please hate it more. Come on.
yeah, because that helps the YouTube algorithm, because they want everybody to like or
Watch
dislike
time,
it,
yeah.
be subscribed and comment and or share it, and the more that happens, the more it'll spread out. And working advertisements, which is a lot of things bands are like, I don't want to put money into Facebook, and it's like, well, they don't we're not reaching our audiences. So it's like even finding a smart budget to it, like, yo, even if you're boosting something and it's just like maybe $5 or $10, it's like
Coffee.
it helps spread it out. Sure, I'll take coffee.
Talk more.
Yeah, I could talk more. We're actually gonna be heading to the Beetle House in New York.
What's
3:30
that?
now.
That's the Tim Burton themed bar, or the
I'm-
Never heard of that.
Yeah, me
Sounds cool
neither.
though. I turned 21 next week, so I'll have to hit it.
I believe it could be all ages as well, but if
All
you need
ages.
Okay, I mean,
you want
shit.
your alcoholic beverages, you have to
Alcoholic
leave.
beverage.
Legally, at least.
So yeah, we have a bunch of new music coming out, as well as like our backlog. We have a full album called The Gamble of Life. That's what we debuted with in 2016, 10-song album, and it shows off a lot of just the nature of the band, because like we're really kind of be flexible with our sound. Like everyone asks us like, well, what is your sound? We're like, oh, we're a metal band,
Yeah.
and that comes into like when I was talking earlier with that cut up. It's
Yeah,
like
the
Genres are
subgenre.
just so
we have
hard
our
to-
song Battle Cry, which is like a thrash power metal type song, but then we have our song Bullets, which is like really driving and groovy
Grinding metal.
versus or what was the I can't remember the term. It was Rich Howells, one of the editors back home. He had a term that he used, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. But yeah, we just try to, because that's the thing too, is like, I love Carnifex, and if I'm looking for like death metal, deathcore, they'll hit the mark. But sometimes with bands, I'd like to listen to albums that have that variety. It's not just the same thing for the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In certain cases, that's what I want, and that's what I'll look for. And we're talking about perhaps doing like an EP in like almost like concept wise, where we'll keep sticking to one particular sound for maybe 5 songs, but to correspond, we'll write like lyrics and everything that really sets the tone and helps present the like a concept to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Prada does like the zombie EP, or Amir did Slave to the Game, like something along the lines of that, where it's like for ourselves we can hone into one sound, because that's something we always like talk about. It's like, yeah, marketing wise it's probably easier. Okay, yeah, we're for fans of As They Lay Dying, this band and this band, you know, blah blah blah. You market out to obvious metalcore audience, blah, and so on and so forth. Versus like we'll release like Second Place Superstar was one of our singles, and that's like a more just a core related song, just constant breakdowns and grooves. And then we did our song Ghost, which is like very dark and almost atmospheric, like a little more thrash metal-y to a point. So it's like, it's interesting.
Yeah, I have a pet peeve of one thing, and it's bands who make themselves of more of a brand than musicians. Like, I see it all the time on Instagram of a band that follows me. It's like, oh, you have 9,000 followers, but you follow 13,000 people. And I looked up your music, and you have, 1,000 streams in your song, maybe. It's like, are you really doing it for music, or are you doing it to be a brand?
I think right now in the industry, I feel like you have to you have to do a healthy blend of both. Yeah. Like,
you can't just,
and that's finding the nice balance between, because you see people that do killer music, but their marketing, they don't know how to push themselves out, or they might be doing it wrong. Versus, you have the people that are doing all the right things online, but music, they're like, oh man, this band's killer. And then you see them live, and it's like, ouch.
Yeah.
Oh, if you don't have backtracks, you don't sound good at all. So like they play like, and then they play at like the hole in the wall bars, and it's like, oh yeah, that's the PA system. There's 3 input jacks. That's it. And 2 of them are used for the speakers. One for the lead mic. How many vocals do you have? Yeah, you got 1 tonight.
Yeah, you better share a mic.
Yeah,
that was experience. We've seen with good bands, like we played, it was just hole in the wall places, and they had way too good of gear to accommodate, and it's like. So I think that's the thing too, is like the technology with bands. How many people want the Axe effects and the Kemper rigs and stuff, and they're awesome. But I feel like it depends on what scenario you're playing in too. Like if you're playing small places with systems that aren't supporting it, it's not going to sound as great if you're playing at Starland or Club Reverb. You know what I mean? Like that shit's going to sound incredible through a big system.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it's not always easy to get on those gigs you don't have a representation. You'll have to do your work, sell tickets and stuff, which is another thing people start turning their nose at. And it's like, well, not for nothing, like I bring 100 people to my local bar doesn't put the money in the promoter's pocket.
Yeah, no.
And at the end of the day, it's the money has to get exchanged, because he's getting from the agent in California who has X amount of talent buyers wanting to take that package. So it's just a chain of crap. But sadly, money's a big thing, and music is the most consumed of the arts and is the dirtiest in the industry and the least paid.
Yeah, 100%.
You go to a sporting event, what are they playing? You get the hockey game, they got Volbeat going on. You know what I mean? But it's getting everyone hyped up, but it's everywhere you go, music is being consumed some way, somehow. You're starting your podcast, there's that 3-second guitar clip. Hey guys, what's going on? Music is everywhere, but the payout is so small, and the credit is even smaller now.
Doesn't Spotify pay like less than a penny? For sure,
yeah,
like
I think
it's quarter of a penny per stream.
3/33 of a hundredth of a penny or something.
Yeah, for every stream. That's so ridiculous.
But that's the thing, is Spotify, to get paid, they want you to be getting a lot of streams. It's oriented towards those big artists. How much money do you think Drake is making off Spotify? Versus how much you think Left to Suffer is making on Spotify? More than all of us in this room
make a year, probably times 5.
Versus how much you think Left to Suffer is making just on Spotify. You know what I mean? They're probably doing very well, but compared to Drake, it's probably a very distinct difference.
You could, what? I don't think there's many bands out there who could live off streams right now.
No, you can't.
Metal bands, they probably couldn't live off
There's
streams.
always that meme going on where it's like, the guy's playing music and he has the cup out and it's the Facebook likes going into it. We mentioned earlier, right now you're sending your music as your advertisement and you're selling your merch and performing live. Because that's you have that 3 sources of income. You make money off merch, you make money off shows, and you make money off streams. Streams you're not making much off, so that's how you'll cut down. You'll dump your advertisement into streams, push that out to try to redirect that traffic back to your merch page.
Or your shows.
Hopefully someone clicks on something and they like it, but then that even goes into the price of your merch. Like, oh, are they going to buy anything? They might be browsing and it might slip their mind. Like, the other thing is the internet is so great and beneficial, but it's like there's everybody doing everything at the same time always. Every second you're not doing something, somebody else is doing something.
It, yeah.
Like, so it's very tasking with the internet, and it's almost annoying, like an over saturation. You know what I mean? Across the world, how many bands just have like even just internet presence, but they don't even play live? And like, that's a whole another snowball. I could get into another, is this thing on? 3 hours or something of that, talking about that. This and coffee. Give me a little stoned and I'll talk your guys' ear off. Which I don't want to do because I want to keep that nice time limit on your podcast. So I'll spit to you guys. You guys got anything for me?
Yeah, you said you stream and you do YouTube.
Yes, I do.
Give that a shout out, like what you play.
Yes, I do. I do the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Eric_Abyss. Or if you just search me on there, I'm sure I'll pop up. I have all my Traverse the Abyss stuff. Lately, I've been playing World of Warcraft. I tied the knot and stuck the needle back in because they've the Burning Crusade, they're bumping Classic up to the first expansion, and that's when I started playing heavily as a preteen. So I'm like, ugh, I gotta soak that up. So I've been enjoying that. And then YouTube, I've been doing Let's Plays of Crash Bandicoot. I'm starting to get into that, but now I got my own Blue Yeti microphone, and I've got a new gaming laptop because I finally made a big boy purchase. So it's like I could properly work like OBS and Streamlabs and Stream Elements, all that kind of nice overlays, and make it look all pretty. Because for the past year, like when the pandemic hit, we were supposed to play with Devil Wears Prada, we were supposed to play with Attila again, we were supposed to play with Twisted. Like, we had a bunch of crazy shows lined up. We were talking about trying to buy onto a Northeast leg of a tour, and then COVID was like,
no,
not happening.
None of that.
Fuck out of here.
Which it was actually a breath of fresh air, because then we got to sit back, we got to write, we worked in a new member, which is Jamie. We got him comfortable at least on the songs for a set list, so if we got an opportunity to play live stream or anything, we're able to play, and just kind of ironed out things, took a breath, kind of like I was talking about how advertising with your music and redirecting to like try to hone in a little bit more onto that, which still, like, the problem with that too is we released a song in the beginning of 2020, and like I said, people got that microwave mentality. Like, if you're not releasing music, you're not, or doing stuff, you're not almost relevant.
Yeah, attention spans are short.
So
Yeah,
it's like
especially with
we spent
everything
so much time. It was almost a year between that and Faucet Mouth, and it's just like sucks, but it's like it's something we need to do, and we're still almost playing catch up. But like, just we're gonna be releasing probably an EP towards the end of the year. So once that the last little straggle hairs of that are just getting lined up. So once that's done, besides for that, like we're working on like I was saying, brand new material that won't be faced for some time. That's going to be a lot more melodic, and it's still going to have even more aggression to it. But yeah, stream wise and YouTube, it's been World of Warcraft, Crash Bandicoot. I was doing Spider-Man. Like I with the stream, I was because how everything got shut down, and it's like, well, if we can't play, I wanted to do the gaming streaming stuff, and it's like, well, there's not really, I'm not preparing for shows, and it's just a big swing. So it's like, I like to do entertainment stuff, so it's like I don't want to just limit myself to a band. I like doing the live stream stuff. I like being, so you guys could tell I could talk.
Yeah.
I talk your ears off, and there's vast amount of topics that get me all fired up. Video games, movies, coffee, music, all sorts of music, music industry talk like we've been doing. Like, that stuff fires me up, and it's like I want to embrace that. And same thing, it's like not to toot my horn or knock or anything, but like could do some cool things in games. Like trophy whore for PlayStation. So like
okay.
the hard ones on Crash Bandicoot, like I do all the gold relics.
Which one are you playing then? 4?
I'm working on 4 for all the trophies. On YouTube at the moment, I'm going through the Insane trilogy.
Okay.
Like I'm doing a basic Let's Play, like going through the levels, then we're going back, going get all the colored gems, then go do all the relics.
I could never colored in the time relics in Crash games.
Oh, she could verify. She goes, "You're a fucking child," because I'd get getting mad, but like that.
Oh yeah, no.
Same
Video games.
Halo. Halo's another one because I don't have the. We were borrowing her cousin's Xbox, and because I woke up the one day and I was like, God, I want to play fucking Halo and Gears. Like it's been years. I haven't owned an Xbox since an Xbox 360. Like I've been dying. I want to play like nostalgia. Sounds great right now.
Yeah.
And we were looking for cheap Xbox 360s, and then she was like, wait, my cousin is Xbox people. So she messaged her and she's like, yeah, it's literally collecting dust if you want to borrow it. And it's like, okay, so we got the Master Chief Collection, and I was like, I always wanted to finish all these on Legendary.
And then she gets Sims for Christmas.
Oh, God.
And I did it. I did all
Halo
5
Legendary
Halos
was
Legendary
terrible.
fucking solo. Even Halo 2, which everyone's like, oh, that's like, it is the hardest one until you learn the glitch of it. You're allowed, there's like 3-4 weapons you're allowed to use, period.
Yeah.
You played it on the Xbox One, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you, you played the, it's like the remastered ones, right? It's just like the new graphics and shit. Did you like in the middle of it? Did you keep pressing the button to like switch the graphics back?
Yeah.
Of course.
I'd do that. I'd be like, "Oh, this looks awesome. I wonder what it looked like on like the original Xbox." And I'm like,
oh,
"What the
God.
fuck is that?"
Yeah, the random structure architectures and everything.
It's
Yeah.
worse too because you're looking at it on like a flat screen TV, so it's stretched and it's just it looks
Yeah,
stretched. And
like
you're
the
oh my
aliens, they
goodness.
look like well, they look so fucked up. What is that?
But yeah, we just got new overlays and stuff like that, so I'll be able to do any of my stream stuff. The problem was I got a capture card to do the gameplay like last year. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's get it going. I get it, and I plug it in, it goes USB 3.0 and not connected. And I go, what the fuck is that? And that's when I discovered that there's a such thing as USB 2.0 and USB 3.0 that sends data faster. And I had an old laptop at the time, so it's like, all right, well, I got the PlayStation camera, so it records the video and audio. And I just gamed on my PlayStation. I was like, whatever money I make from Twitch, I'll put aside, and I'll put a little bit from my paychecks aside, and come tax return time, I'll take a little bit of that aside and just get myself a nicer laptop. So it took a year, but I got the laptop, so it's now I could use the capture card so I could stream off my Switch. So if I'm playing with people online, like we do Mario Party online, I could play with viewers or any of my consoles, because I have an old GameCube that I'm trying to resurrect, or PlayStation 2 like old SmackDown vs. Raw games, like the stuff like people like exactly. You mentioned those games, it's like bro, and even if it's just one night. Because that's my other thing is I try to be a variety streamer.
Oh yeah, that's what gets you the most like following right now.
Contrary at the moment, it might be hindering me more than helping. But contrary to now, I just don't post what game I'm playing until I'm going live. So you don't know if I'm doing Mario or Crash or Warcraft or Rocksmith or whatever game. But now that I got the capture card, I could do any title that I got, even just a Magic the Gathering Arena right off my laptop. But her cousin wanted the Xbox back because she got The Sims for Christmas, and I was like, I just finished all the Halos, so it was creeping back, and I was thinking about it. I'm like, wait, I have Steam.
You do.
I could get Halo collection, so
it is on PC.
Got that, and I got a cheap old little Xbox One controller with the USB, and I'm like, oh, this runs smoother than an Xbox One. Oh, so I'm gonna jump in some Halo streams. Just good old nostalgia. Like I love Kingdom Hearts. God of War is one of my absolute favorite series ever. Obviously, Crash Bandicoot. I'm a PlayStation guy because I like the story games, like The Last of Us, Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn.
I haven't played Last of Us 2. They just showed the new Horizon Zero Dawn yesterday, I think.
I heard. I didn't even see the clips,
but
I'm excited.
I still can't find a PS5 to save my life. I have a Series X, the new Xbox, but I can't find a PS5.
I want to get the PS5, but it's like right now I'm like because all the games that are coming out for the releasing on the 4, and it's like,
Yeah, they're probably gonna do that for a while though.
So my thing is like, okay, I'm not gonna jump and get the new system if I don't have to yet until they drop the new God of War Ragnarok.
Oh yeah,
that's because I was thinking, I'm like, oh well, I can instead of getting the gaming laptop, I could do the PlayStation, and I'm so much happier that I didn't because, one, the PlayStation, like you said, they're not even
Yeah.
available. So I'd be struggling and fighting people, probably paying a bit more than I should. And now with the gaming laptop, it's like, oh, I download a Reaper, so now I could start actually learning a bit of music production. Like, even if it's only learning to demo guitar riffs and stuff, because, like, aside from vocals, I play guitar and I could play bass as well. So, like, I could come up with little ideas that actually, in context, like, here's what I have in my mind, compared to, all right, play the guitar riff. Okay, now let me try to record a different thing over it and play that I could just play it record it right in the computer, hear it back, even if it's crappy. I could just hear it in context.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with like video editing software. So if we do like just even the game playthroughs, I could capture on my card, cut it up, make some stupid little tidbits throughout the
Yeah, it's a
video.
lot
So
easier
it's
to
like
do.
so much more stuff that I could actually potentially revenue back from as well.
Right.
You know, like they said with YouTube, like as a streamer, you want to be doing YouTube because say you're doing videos now, but after a while, like later down the road, you get a video that really takes off and gets you to traction. Like those older videos are still gonna, if they start taking off and stuff, you'll start getting cash from them while you're still going forward. So it's trying to plant those seeds. Like I was saying, like as an entertainer, like I do music. I want to start. I would like to do like even with the wifey, just doing like small acoustic cover stuff at like cafes, just during the week. Weekends or for the band during the week, we could do that, make a couple dollars, do like podcasts / streaming. I like obviously with Faucet Mouth, I like to make people laugh. So it's like comedy was always. I wanted to do a stand-up session, but COVID happened, and it's like okay, but I don't want to get into the whole digital comedy thing because it's so much. I think that's an in-person thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
comedy, music you listen to. Unlike, I mean, some people listen to comedy podcasts and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
but I feel like it's weird, like comedy, just listening to it because you don't get the reaction of the people laughing.
And then South Park already brought it up. There's Twitter. I love that episode. I can do comedy and do that. Yeah, no, I just tweeted that, and it's getting reshared. It's viral. The game has changed, bro.
Yeah.
The game's changed, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Which leads into again social medias.
Oh,
Yeah. But we gotta start wrapping it up now, you know.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure having you on.
Likewise. Maybe
we'll definitely have you back because I know you have a lot more you want to talk about.
100%. Hopefully, I can snag the other guys and maybe we'll get like a showdown here since things are starting to open up again.
Yeah, so. I know you're playing with Black Lotus and PA.
Yeah, we almost every major show we've done with like national artists we've done with Black Lotus. So it's like for the past 2-3 years since like 2018 or so. That started with like Coal Fest we did together, which like Miss May I and Upon a Burning Body was the headliners, and then later that year we did the Whitechapel 10 Years of Exile, like them and Chelsea Grin, like we did that one together in Easton. So it's like we played quite a handful of shows together and always been cool with us, always nice guys and
yeah.
Killer stuff. Like we're not nearly as heavy as they are, but it brings that nice breath of fresh air. Because same thing with like listening to an album. Yeah, I'm gonna go to a metal show and I want to consume metal. I don't want every single band to be like straight up beat down or anything like that. Like that little chop variety, but that again you have to kind of round that out because then it might get weird if you have like a pop punk band versus deathcore or like straight up like hardcore fight music shit. But that's June 19th we're playing with Black Lotus for their album release, and that is at the Sportsman Cafe in Allentown. And tickets are available through us on traversetheabyss.com/shows. Tickets are going pretty fast, so even by the time this comes out, we might be out of them. We have like a cap on how many. It's not the biggest venue, so it's going to get rowdy.
Yeah.
And you don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Mask on. Opposite of future. Or mask on.
Yeah,
mask on. Mask on.
Mask on, yeah.
All right, well, man, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. We'll definitely have you on again.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everyone for checking this out and listening.
All right, take care.